Hey, just Mark here. All right, so you want to quit your job to do YouTube, or maybe pursue your passions or other things that interest you. So, my question for you is what would it take for you to quit your job? I'm going to come by with some tips and some things I think about because I enjoy pursuing my creative side. And I also think a lot about not having to be structured so much in my life and having a little more free time and the ability to create rather than, fill my day. I work 9 to 5 and then I get off work and then it's down to the grind, right? And the grinding right now is worth it for me. So I want to talk today about the possibility of quitting your job to do YouTube or to, as I said before, follow your passions. So it's hard to make it on your own if you aren't committed. Because should you quit your job, you're losing the security of a paycheck, you're losing your benefits, you are losing schedule, you are losing a lot of things that can make it scary, and you're losing the security of knowing that you're getting a paycheck every 2 weeks or twice a month or whatever your scale is. So, how do you get to that point where you can just say, "Boss, I quit. I'm done. I don't want to be here anymore. I am going to do my own thing." So, here's some things that I've thought about that I would do before I quit my job to do YouTube. Now, I work in a call center, and for those of you who can relate, it's a very structured job. You have to log in at a certain time, you can only take breaks at certain times, you can't be late from your breaks, your lunches, all that kind of stuff. And, a workforce team chooses essentially what's available for you to go on vacation. Well, I think wouldn't it be nice to be choosing when I can take a break or go on vacations? I remember my dad said years ago that part of the reason he likes working for himself is that he can choose which 12 hours of the day he works, but he can also choose when he takes time off. So here's some things that I would do. The first thing I would do is I would save at least 6 months of living expenses. So that's enough to pay my bills, enough to have a little bit of extra cash as a cushion in case some month an expense comes up, like a car repair or something in the home. I would also want to make sure I am as close to 100% debt free as possible, which I am, which is great. I would also create videos and do this YouTube channel like I am now every day after work. Now, right now, I'm posting daily. You don't have to post daily. Work a schedule that works for you because that's what I'm doing. Right now, I'm getting off work, taking a bit of a break, hanging out with my dog, and then I'm back to the grind once I know she's tired out anyway. And I'll either film, I'll edit, I will educate myself during the evening, but I would continue to work on these things while I am trying to get to a point where I can quit my job and do this full time. Another thing I would do is I would work on continuously educating myself. Now, I'm an older guy, I do have learning issues. I struggle a lot with learning new things, and it takes me longer than the average human being. But that doesn't mean I can't sit at my computer and learn editing. I know I have a subscription to Skillshare, not sponsored, so I learned a few things on there. I watch other YouTubers. I watch Think Media. I watch Gabe Built. I watch other YouTubers in my niche. So Rob the Maritimer, he's great for teaching people, old guys like me, how to do YouTube. But I would continue the education because if you're not going to learn, you're not going to commit and you're not going to do it. Another thing I would do is start putting myself on a particular schedule. So on my weekends, for example, today is Sunday when I'm recording this, I got up, I took my dog for her 45-minute walk like I normally do on a Sunday, and then I came home, I ate some food, and then I kind of got down to business. I got on my laptop and I started doing things. I commit at least 3 hours on my weekend, like Saturday and Sunday, to doing some research, to watching some videos on educating myself on what to do and going forward. Now, when would I quit my job? This is a big question. Or when should you quit your job? I know for myself, if I'm able to start replacing 50% of my income, gross income, so not what I take home, I would then be ready to quit. Because at least I know at that point, my expenses and a little bit more are covered completely. And then I'll have more free time to do more things and to create more videos and to do different things for my YouTube channel, be more involved in the community. So some ways I am getting there and how I plan on succeeding is it does go back to still doing YouTube while I'm working full time, getting more involved in the communities on YouTube that are in my niche and even not so much in my niche, but ones that just interest me in general. I also plan to educate, as I mentioned before, myself a lot more. I am also learning how to script. I'm constantly learning how to edit. That's a weak point for me, and it's hard. As I said, it takes me a while to learn. I'm being active and I'm committing. I'm committing myself to what's in front of me to get there. Now, some things to think about while you're on this journey. While you got your job, start saving. Save your money. Become frugal. Cut expenses where needed. Because if you really want to do this, if I really want to do this, this is what I'm doing right now. Now I do have money saved up, not quite where I want to be able to quit this. And I know my target, and I'm probably another 8 or 9 months away from that target. Maybe longer, who knows, with this economy the way it is. Be prepared to fail. You may fail multiple times getting to that point, or you may need to delay your quit date, or the date you have in mind, because you might do a bunch of videos that flop and fail and you're not getting monetized. Or, you're watching YouTubers who are like, I got monetized in 30 days. And you're sitting there, 90 days later, not monetized. And that's okay, because as long as you're having fun with it. But be prepared to fail and be prepared to, have it take longer than you may anticipate. Be patient. YouTube is a long game. There are many very successful YouTubers out there who were dead in the water for their channels for 3 years, 4 years. I've been watching Dodash, for example. I mean, I like her spunky attitude. I mean, sometimes she's a little repetitive, but I really enjoy her videos because I like her energy. And she did DoorDash for a long time, and now 4 years later, one video took off, and now she's off to the races and doing her best. Rob the Maritimer, he said his videos took about 3 years. I think it was 3 years, 4 years before he became, monetized and doing well. And now he's teaching people how to do YouTube. So another thing I think about is, what am I running toward? And what am I running from? So I know that I'm running from stress, and I'm running from exhaustion, and running from frustration at certain things when it comes to working a full-time job. But what am I running to? I'm running to faith that I will have the freedom to pursue my own endeavors on my own time without having to be in a job and push myself to the grind every day. I also want to get back to my photography. I want to keep doing my YouTube. I want to spend more time with my dog. I want to get out a little bit more, experience life. And that's what these things are for. Maybe you've got a family and you've got kids. Sorry. And maybe you've got kids and you want more time with them. And that's never a bad thing either. So, because that time, I'll tell you right now, from having stepkids, man, it goes fast. And before I knew it, they were double digits. And well, now obviously I don't have them around, but time goes fast if you've got a family, and you should cherish every moment with it. Even with your older family members. You know, the biggest piece of advice I can give you is to make sure that you're fully prepared to commit if you quit your job, because you will lose that security. It will cause you stress, and you need to be committed. So those are kind of my thoughts on wanting to quit my job to go to work on YouTube and my other creative endeavors that I want to. Because man, I feel like I don't have time sometimes, and I really want to change that. So to each one of you out there who are thinking, I need to quit, I need to get out, I need to do something different, hopefully this will motivate you, give you a few ideas. These are things I've written down for myself, and I've got goals that I'm working on. I've kind of got a 3-year plan I'm working on right now that I'm going to achieve. As I mentioned in my previous video about monetization, I want to be monetized by December 30th of this year. I'm going to hit it. You watch. Anyways, cheers, and I will see you on the next one.